how it was yesterday in Lyon.
I had incredible time. I couldn't believe the amount of young people, age, I think, 18 to 30. I've never seen such a diverse audience. I'm not an anthropologist, but I think that I saw a lot of Muslims, North African, French people, white, black, disabled. They were all patriotic, and they were all concerned about justice, and they were all joined this event because they wanted to listen to two leading European thinkers, and it was quite amusing for me to find out that the Jewish lobby, together with the French government, tried to stop it. I think that they're really getting into trouble now, and as we can see, the leading party, or the socialist, the government, was pretty much annihilated in the last European Parliament election. So I hope for them, for Mr. Valls and President Hollande, that they will learn the lesson quick.
So, do you know that it's a very hard time for people like Soral and Dieudo?
I can say.
In your opinion, you can make a portrait of these people, what they are for you.
I'm here tonight in this...
In Lamando.
Yeah, in Dieudonné's theater. And it's the most beautiful room I've ever seen in my life, and I play every night around the planet. I've never seen walls with so much spirit, and the spirit of humanity and liberation. The same applies to Soral. The idea that a man who is supported by such a massive crowd, diverse crowd, the idea that someone dares calling him a racist is not just pathetic, it is on the verge of amusing. It is laughable. And this is where you are in France. This is very tragic to see how dictatorial this place has become in such a short time. And I think that the time is ripe, really, for people who consider themselves leftist to really emancipate themselves from the Jerusalemite ideology, to start to take care of working class, of lower classes. This is what left was all about. Because if they won't do it, other people will do it, and this is what we see now. And actually Soral is very crucial because he's a man who comes from the left. He is still regarding himself as a socialist. He's a socialist as well as a patriot, and I think that it is beautiful.
But 2 days ago, the pro-Palestinian movement in Lyon made a declaration saying that they will have never nothing to do with people like you and like Soral, and so do you know that? What do you think about that position?
I noticed that the one thing that I didn't see in the room was 3 geriatric Jews, and this is exactly what the Palestinian solidarity movement in France and in Britain is. It's usually 2 to 7 geriatric Jews, usually dysfunctional, people who didn't work a single day in their life. And they use the Palestinian solidarity movement as a means to gate, to control the opposition to Israel. Now, I want to say something, and it is very simple. The fact that the Palestinian solidarity turned the door on Dieudo,
Yes.
a person who fills arenas and speaks about Palestine. The fact that they rejected Soral, who has 1 million visitors on his website every day. And I know, because I can see how many viewers I have in France. And it's a lot, because I'm associated with these people. These people are 1,000 times bigger than anything that has ever been linked with Palestine. The fact that the Palestinian solidarity, it has nothing to do with the Palestinian people, closing the door on this possibility, on this chance to communicate with so many people, means that they do not care. For Palestine, it doesn't take me by surprise. I wrote a book, it's a bestseller, and I explain why the Jewish lobby is counterproductive. The Jewish lobby within the Palestinian Solidarity Movement. It is doing exactly, it's a continuation of the ADL.
But why they attack in such a way Soral and Dieudo, in your
They
opinion?
always use the same tactic. The only
But
tactic.
who are behind that, in your opinion? You can make clear to us.
What, the names?
No, not the names, but the group or the lobby.
It
or...
is I just shared this. I just shared this joke with. Do you want maybe to move a bit there? No. I just shared this joke with Dieudo. In a village with one Jew, you need 2 synagogues. One for the Jew to go to, and one for the Jew to boycott. For all those Jewish campaigners and organizations and institutions, they become meaningful. They start to realize their own existence once they start to boycott, to use the Talmudic cherem culture. And this is symptomatic to their behavior. And I'm not surprised by it, but as we know, nothing good happened in Palestine, and it's quite astonishing that freedom struggle for 100 years has managed to lead into such a big nothing. And my explanation is very simple. It wasn't supposed to lead into anything. What we see, the Palestinian solidarity movement is actually a Jewish solidarity movement. It's Jews celebrating solidarity with themselves.
In your opinion, is under the control of?
Definitely, the Jewish solidarity is under Jewish control, yes. And it's operating as a controlled opposition. And this is why they restrict the language. This is why, instead of looking at Israel and Zionism as a Nazi-like operation, we always insist to call it apartheid, to try to create imaginary parallels with other historical models, which are not valid. Apartheid is a racist system of exploitation. The Jewish state doesn't want to exploit the Palestinians. It wants them gone. It wants them out. It's a Lebensraum philosophy. It has nothing to do with apartheid. It is a Nazi-like, and I hope that I don't offend any Nazi person who view this video at the moment. It's not nice, always to compare. It's not colonialism. I mentioned it many times, because colonialism is a relationship between a mother state and a settler state. The Jews want us to call it colonialism because then it means that their vile operation in the Middle East is similar to the Brits, to the French, to the Dutch. It's not. It is a unique Jewish project, and Israel calls itself the Jewish state. And what the Jewish lobby within the Palestinian Solidarity Movement is there to do is to stop us from talking about the Jewishness of the Jewish state. How pathetic it is. But when I see in this room today, we will have 300 people. Yesterday we have 600 people. It's already around 1,000 people. It's pretty much 20 times in 2 days, in 24 hours. It's pretty much 10 times more than the biggest gathering I've seen in France ever. So I would like to say that they are defeated because they were not set to win. They were set to bring solidarity, the true solidarity with the Palestinians, into a halt, to stop. And the most crucial understanding that we see now, and this is the message of the victory of right-wing parties in Europe, is that European lower class people, what we call, some sociologists call the underclass people, start to realize that they are the Palestinians. We are all Palestinians. And when I look at the way Dieudo is treated, or Soral is treated, they are living under Zionist occupation. This is the fate of France at the moment, and France will liberate itself, and it are already showing clear signs. And the people here are revolutionary,
Yes.
you know, so I don't want to push them too far.
Okay, it's my last question. Is because of this control that your book were not welcome in France, but Shlomo Sand's book, for instance, yes?
Whether my book
Is the
was
Palestinian Solidarity Movement didn't want to sell your
the fact
book?
that for sure, because I expose some very problematic aspects of the solidarity.
But what is the difference?
There is a big difference between Zand and myself, and I'm saying it with a lot of respect to Zand. Zand clearly suggests that the Jews or the Zionists were very effective in inventing their history, the narrative, the nationalism. I come and ask a very big yet simple question. How do they manage to get away with these lies? How do they manage to come to a place after 2,000 years and to tell the indigenous people, listen, you have to move, we've been here 2,000 years ago? Would the Italians get away with the same kind of excuse and take your house in the name, you know, of their Roman ancestry? No way. This is what I try to ask. I try to understand what is the meaning. I'm a philosopher, I'm not an historian. What is the meaning of Jewish power? Where it comes from? How is it supported? What are the manipulative tricks that are taking place? And I try to address it from a philosophical point of view, because unlike Shlomo Zand and many others, probably everyone else, I am a reactionary essentialist. I want to understand what is the meaning of the thing. If Israel calls itself a Jewish state, I don't care when it started to call itself a Jewish state. I want to understand what is the meaning of a state calling itself a Jewish state. What is the meaning of its opposition? JVP, Jews' Voice for Peace, calling them the Jewish Voice for Peace. Does it mean that Ahmed from Gaza will never be able to be the secretary of Jewish Voice for Peace? Why? Because he's not racially qualified? This is the question I try to address. And when I look at it from a philosophical perspective, from a categorical perspective, there is no difference between the Jews-only state and the Jews-only Jewish Voice for Peace.
Okay.
It's exactly the same thing. And the next thing that we will have to question is organization like Euro-Palestine. Euro-Palestine, I think they are called. There is a nice woman here, Olivia Zemmour. And she doesn't actually operate in a Jews-only organization, but she dictates her Jewish interests when it comes to the Palestinian solidarity movement. She was the person who told me for years, don't get anywhere near Dieudo. Here you have it on video. Why? Why? Because she was a gatekeeper. And I didn't want to upset her.
Is it true that she do not want to invite you to talk about your book?
For sure, because my book, I used to perform in a place, but I always had the feeling that she didn't mind my saxophone, but when I started to talk, she had a problem, and she tried to restrict or to contain my influence. She used her platform as a means to suppress my message. And actually, her opposition, his open opposition, I am very happy with it, liberated me. I'm talking now to tens of thousands of people in France. My book is available in 2 editions and actually selling very well. I'm very pleased with it.
Good.
I may even buy a French car.
Thank you very much.